So then, how is life going in the ropey old Rover? Well, it's actually going pretty well so far. I've covered about 300 miles in the week since I bought it, which is a lot more than I thought actually. But yeah, no, things are going pretty well. There are issues, I'm not going to lie. As I'm driving now, I've got the windows up, nice and warm actually here with the sunshine, but there's a horrible whistling noise coming from this driver's window just up here. I think one of the seals has failed, or there's a small gap or something in it, because it's really annoying. The wind is whistling through. I keep reaching down to put the window up thinking I've accidentally left it down, but it's definitely up. Yeah, that's one of the small issues as well. The driver's door mirror is vibrating, it's shaking there. They are electronically operated, and it works as long as you're only looking to change the angle up or down. The mirror actually doesn't go in or out like it should do. It's cable tied on, so that probably doesn't help. There's a bit of trim missing there as well, some exposed mechanicals and a wire for the mirror. That's not great really. Another issue actually is the steering. If I take, well, a perfectly straight bit of road here, if I take my hands off the wheel, we're veering over to the left. So the tracking is off. Could be knackered front tyres or suspension, hopefully not suspension, but it could be. Oh, and as well, the steering wheel is degrading somewhat. It's quite frilly up at the top here, and it just leaves a horrible plasticky, sticky residue feeling in your fingers whenever you're finished using it, so that's not great. Also, we have no clock, that's broken, no radio, that's missing, drooping headliner. So this car isn't without issues, and as well you'll just be able to see there in the back the interior brake light that's attached to the rear window is actually being chocked up with a piece of timber. Apparently they just droop for some reason down the years. The attachment becomes loose and it just falls away, which is what's happened on this one. Oh, and yeah, I've got some interior trim missing down here as well, a little fold out cubby hole thingy, which is now sitting in the rear footwell. So yeah, it does need some work. There are also some creaks and rattles, not so much from the dashboard area where you'd expect. It seems like quite a nicely moulded unit that's stood the test of time, but more from the centre console area down here. Very creaky, which at speed can be quite annoying, and of course if you're going over bumps in the road it can really do your head in. I'm sure if I had a radio there that would probably just drown the noise out. I've got to say, this thing is so incredibly comfortable. I'm cruising down the motorway here, bang on 70 miles an hour. It just feels like you could sit here all day long really. It's so comfortable. These seats, you just snuggle into them, just sit back, relax, pin the throttle, and away you go. One thing I'm certainly going to have to try and sort out are the brakes. The car's been sitting up for a long time, so I think what's happened is over time they've warped, I think, is the issue with them. You feel it now when I brake. Bad, isn't it? Really, really bad. It shudders right the way through the brake pedal, through the steering, through everything. Oh, brakes again. Oh, that's not good. That really is not good. It kind of brakes in installments. You can feel as it's gripping, the calipers are gripping the disc momentarily, and they're not, as I assume. It's going round the cycle of the warped disc. Shoddy brakes aside though, what does she like to drive? Well, as I said earlier on the motorway, an absolute dream. It just pulls up and sits at 70 miles an hour all day long. I'm on slightly twistier, more fun country roads now, and I have to say she's holding herself pretty well around here. Good fun, definitely not sporty. You're more kind of wallowing around, kind of floating in this car as you pitch it into corners, but it's in no way dangerous, it's in no way unsafe, just certainly not go-kart-esque. Definitely a much floatier ride. But that's still not to say that it can be quite fun. And of course, as soon as you put the foot down, you're away. It just picks up speed extremely quickly. The news from the Rover is a little concerning. I'm stuck in rather heavy traffic here, and the temperature gauge is certainly rising. Yeah, that's really not good. I've developed a bit of a technique that when the vehicle ahead of me accelerates, I leave it a second or two until they're a little bit out of the way, and then I put the foot down. It gives it a whoosh of air coming through to the radiator of the engine, but it's creeping up there. We really have to get out of this traffic. The roundabout's coming up now in a moment anyway, but a tip for the future. There's that technique there. And actually may not even need it because the roundabout's coming up straight ahead of me and I'm on a green as well, so hopefully this will sort it. But your tip for the future, try if at all possible to avoid heavy traffic, because old cars don't like it at all, do they? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you fancy donating to the channel to help me keep any of my terrible old wrecks on the road, you can do. The link is in the description below.